Mogul Motivation, educating and empowering entrepreneurs 1 week at a time. Presented by True Stories Media. And I am your host, Antoine Twiz Taylor.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Mogul Motivation. This is episode 241. Sports is a great metaphor when you're talking about business, entrepreneurship, and dream chasing. And I've done it many times on this episode. I did it most recently a couple weeks ago for episode 226, titled The GOAT Life, after the passing of the late, great Kobe Bryant. I've done it on multiple episodes far before that. Sports is a great metaphor, and I'm going to use that metaphor again today because collectively we've all been watching The Last Dance on ESPN, right? The documentary that details the final season of the Bulls dynasty in the 90s, the 1998 season, and, you know, everything that led those players in their early careers to that moment. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, etc. It's very refreshing to see that documentary, especially growing up in Chicago, because I remember the exact moments when the Bulls won the championships in 96, 97, and 98. I remember where I was at. I can't really tell you too much about the first three-peat. I was too young. But that second three-peat, I remember where I was at. And it's refreshing to see the entire world soak in the greatness of the Chicago Bulls. And I have debated people on this many times before. I truly believe if Mike never left the game in 94, 95, the Bulls would have won 8 straight championships. That's not me being biased. I have my reasons, and I'm going to explain in this episode. In fact, Dennis Rodman even said that he truly believes they would have won 4 straight if the team remained intact for the 98-99 season. And I believe him. I truly believe that if any dynasty could have done it, it would have been the Chicago Bulls. No dynasty could do what they have done because they had that perfect nucleus of winning. The only way you can beat them once they got going was if they broken up, and that's exactly what happened. We've seen it happen. We've seen it happen in 94 and 95 when Mike left the game and came back rusty. We've seen it happen in 98, 99. The only way the Bulls lost in the 90s was when they broken up, because they had that perfect nucleus of winning, and it applies to entrepreneurship. It applies to business. It applies to chasing your dreams. It's 3 pieces to this nucleus. I've done an entire episode on this, Mogul Motivation, episode 37, the real MVPs. Who are the real MVPs? These are the people that are important to you, the people who are going to support you on this lonely, damaging entrepreneurial journey. These are the people who are going to go to war for you, the people who are going to pour into you and support you mentally. The Bulls didn't have any MVPs when Mike first got there. It was just him, just carrying the load, trying to do it on his own. And that's the problem with a lot of people in business. We try to do it on our own. We think we can get rich on our own. We think we know everything. That's cool. This may be your vision. This may be your dream. But nevertheless, you still need MVPs in your business and in your personal life that can get you to that next level. A lot of us want to just do it ourselves. We want to get all the money ourselves instead of looking at it from another perspective, which is if I bring in valuable people into my business, then I can increase the value of my service and my product, and therefore I can make more money personally. The business can make more money, and then they can make more money too in the process. We don't think about that. We think we can just do it on our own. You need the real MVPs in your life. The people who are going to go to bat for you, the people that are going to support you. Mike didn't have that when he first got to Chicago, but eventually he got into Scottie Pippen. Once Scottie Pippen matured into that fearless, ferocious player that we know him as, and once Phil Jackson became the coach and implemented the triangle offense orchestrated by Tex Winters, once the Bulls got over that hump, the Detroit Pistons in 91, it was no looking back because the real MVPs had arrived. Mike, Scottie, that nucleus was coming together. That's the first step in the nucleus of winning. The second step is mindset. You have to have that mindset. You have to believe that you're going to win no matter what goes on, no matter what the circumstances are. You have to believe that you're going to win, ladies and gentlemen, no matter how much debt you're in, no matter how slow your sales are, no matter how many times you failed the bar exam or whatever exam you have to take in your professional career. You have to believe that you're going to get over that hump and you're going to win. See, it's one thing to have your real MVPs around you, but it means nothing if your mindset isn't where it needs to be. It means nothing if you have a great supporting cast like a Scottie Pippen in your business or on your team. If you have a great mentor or a coach like a Phil Jackson on your team, if you truly believe that you aren't going to succeed. If you truly believe that you aren't worthy of making $1 million, if you truly believe all of these things are fairy tales, it does not matter. But the Chicago Bulls, ladies and gentlemen, had that mindset. They had that mindset that they were going to win no matter what. Once they got over that hump and broke through in 91, they knew that every time they took the court, they were going to win. Regardless of what happens, regardless if they were down 1-0, 2-0 in a series, they knew they were going to come back and get the best of you. And that's why they won that first three-peat, ladies and gentlemen, because they had the real MVPs. They had Michael Jordan. They had Scottie Pippen. They had Phil Jackson. They had a supporting cast, and they had the right mindset. They knew that they were going to succeed no matter what. That nucleus of winning, the real MVPs, the right mindset. And lastly, they had the right motive. You see, everybody plays the game because they want to be a champion. Basketball, football, baseball, regardless. You play the game because you want to be the champion. That's the motive of playing the game, right? You started your business. You went into entrepreneurship. You're going down this professional career journey because you want to win. You want to get to where you want to be. You want to be in that position. You want to have that title. You want to make that impact. That's why you started your business. But when your motive shifts from being a champion, from making an impact, from being successful to being emotional, then you're going to fall short every time. You see, when Mike left in 94, 95, they still had the real MVPs. They still had Scottie. They still had Phil. They still had that right mindset that they believed they could win no matter what. But the motive shifted. The motive shifted from being a champion to being emotional. You know, I love Scottie Pippen, but the most recent episode talked about how he refused to go in the game because the last shot wasn't going to him. His motive went from winning that game to being the man, to being emotional, to being selfish. That's why the Bulls faltered in 94, 95. That nucleus fell apart. They had two components, but they didn't have the third component. You have to have the real MVPs in your life and in your business. People who are going to support you. People who are going to go to bat for you. People who are going to do everything they need to do to help the movement, the team, the business break through. You got to have the right mindset because you have to believe that you can break through. You can't doubt yourself. You can't doubt the organization. You can't doubt anything that y'all are doing. You can't doubt the purpose. And then you got to have that motive. The motive has to always be what it was in the beginning. Just like playing sports, the motive is to be a champion. In business, in your career, the motive is to make an impact. The motive is to become the person that you're striving to become. That's the motive. But when you allow it to be distorted by emotions, by jealousy, by anger, then you're burdened. Then you're going to be halted. So that's my message, ladies and gentlemen. The nucleus of winning. The real MVPs in your business and in your life. The right mindset that you know you're going to win. And the motive to be the champion. To be successful. To be impactful. That's the nucleus of winning. So let's continue to work. Let's continue to imagine reality. If you keep those three components intact with yourself, with your team members, with everybody around you that's associated with you on this journey, you will not only win, but you're going to continue to win. You're going to be on a winning streak. And it will never be defeated unless you break that nucleus up. If this podcast has motivated you in any way, shape, or form, I ask for two things as always. Number one, please leave a 5-star review. And number two, pass it on to a friend who may benefit from it as well. Have a great day, everyone. I'll talk to you next week.